players these days, all they want to know, apart from what they're being paid, is how much game time am I getting and what position am I going to be playing in. And for me, with Garnacho, if you was to ask him the question, would you prefer to play out on the left-hand side as like a left winger or a left forward, or play in that number 10 role? I think he'd more than likely say out on the left. And is he going to be able to get that position under Ruben Amorim? No, he's not. Other clubs out there might be able to offer him that. And you're looking at the wage structure with Garnacho. I think the reports are he's on 50 grand a week. I think he's still got a couple of years left on his deal. But if you're looking at the likes of Ahmad, who's roughly now on 120 grand, there's talk still ongoing with Kobbie Mainoo. What's he going to get paid if that does actually come to a resolution between club and Mainoo? And maybe Garnacho's thinking, well, I've probably done more than these two in my time at Manchester United. Maybe I want a pay rise. Will the club then actually sit down and discuss new terms of Garnacho? I don't think they will just yet. And I think clubs out there will spring on that opportunity where they can offer him 100 grand a week. And let's have it right. I mean, Garnacho, for me, has got all the attributes to be a top player. He's got the pace, he's got the dribbling, he can score goals. And with you saying about his work rate, that has improved under Ruben Amorim. And it's also a coach's job to get the best out of players. Let's not forget that. We're talking about Højlund, disappointing season. Not just Højlund, many of the other players. But it's also a coach's responsibility, and what they're paid for is to get the best out of, especially the younger players. We all say out there, the younger the player is, the easier it is to mould into the player and the position that a coach wants. And
Garnacho.
for me, I think Garnacho has the attributes to improve, and it's also the coach's responsibility, plus the managers, to get the best out of players like Garnacho, surely.
Well, what I don't want to see is what we're seeing with Anthony. Anthony is a winger. Coaching didn't work. Something was wrong there. Goes away. Next thing you know, he's flying. He's just loving his football and that.
It's the tempo with the league and the physicality.
I'm comparing it.
Yeah.
I'm worried about it. I'm thinking to myself, if they let Garnacho go and he played out wide where he wants to play, and things were going well for him there, I would be ill, to be honest with you. That's why I think we should give him another year. But you know what agents are like, players are like. If he's on 50 grand a week and there's no talks about improving his wages, when there's other young players with their wages being talked about improving, then you just don't know what's going to happen here. He might just have eyes somewhere else, and it might already be sorted, to be honest with you.
Let's face it. It's been a very, very poor season, the worst season in my living memory. And we can't start just hoarding players just based on attributes or what they might be in the future. I mean, but for me, I think it would be a mistake to let Garnacho go. I think it was a mistake last season to let Scott McTominay go, and we've seen what he can do. Not many players, when they leave Manchester United, do go on to bigger and better things and actually perform to a better standard. But I do think Garnacho would end up doing that.
Yeah, I think he would. What we need here is wingers. United's always had wingers, and that's the tradition. To let a young kid go, it just might come back to bite us. But hey,
he seems the only threat as well, like the outball. When United are in a low block, we're defending and we're looking for that player further up the pitch who's in space, creates space for themselves. He looks like the only outball. There's only really him and Bruno who look like they're ever going to create something or even going to grab a goal.
Yeah, but the thing
in the
is,
attacking side of it,
Garnacho would have more space out there, right? You say attacking threat, the outball. That's because Højlund isn't the outball. Højlund isn't doing it, and it's not. If he held the ball up and turned and kept the ball at his feet instead of losing it, and got himself in the box more than what he's doing, then I think that space out there for Garnacho out wide, there'd be more there for him. So that's. He is the outball. I agree, he's the outball. But Ahmad will be the outball. So if you've got Delap up there and you've got Garnacho there, for instance, and Ahmad, plenty of balls there, plenty of space for these two young wingers to run into. That's how I see it. I think it'll be exciting if we get Delap. But for me, Højlund's still got a lot to do, got to learn, and I think it might be a good thing really for Delap to come in. I think it might give him a kick up the backside. But Kieron did mention the coaches and everything. We're not seeing players develop. We're not seeing players get better. That has to be a big worry. It's a big worry for me. We're not seeing them be better. I'm not seeing many players improve here, maybe because of the turmoil within the club and everything else. you know, my eyes might be deceiving me. I don't know. But this summer has to come out fighting from the first game, and they have to get it right in the summer. And Delap and Kuna have to be in straight away.
Yeah, and of course, for me, he's mentioned it many times. I mean, it's like he does 1 or 2 interviews a week, Ruben Amorim, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard this, but he always points to the summer, having that pre-season, you know, to get used to his players, not just in the way they play football, but off the pitch as well. And, you know, the amount of times he says that, you know, if we don't see that improvement in the first 10 or 15 games, he might just actually die on that hill with some of the comments he's made about improvement. And you'll see that come the start of the season, because he's had that pre-season down him. And we've mentioned, you know, coaches and managers, they're paid to improve players. You can't just have a checkbook manager who has to keep going out buying players just to play the system that they want to play or the profile they want and the club want. You've got to improve players, and that goes for even Rasmus Højlund. Some people out there, opinions that it's just not good enough no matter who the coach is, Rasmus Højlund, and you may be right. But let's see if we can get a full season down him next season, like some of these players, and see if the manager can improve him. And then we can look at it of like, is Højlund actually good enough, or is it down to the manager, the coaching staff, and other players as well? But I do like what we went back onto, Kuna and Delap. I think that's the right type of profile I want at this football club from players. Right attitude as well, and that's something that we've been lacking.